Well, good Friday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majestic back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Weather Studios with the weekend forecast update here on your March 27th, 2026. We're wrapping up our Friday on an excellent note with some warm weather out there, but we are going to be seeing some abrupt changes for the weekend. We're looking at some cold weather moving back in, and some areas in North Georgia may have to deal with some frost on Sunday morning. Now, the good news is we're going to warm right back up going into next week. And for you allergy sufferers, maybe the end of next week we get some decent rains in here. But until then, it looks like we're going to have to deal with some sky-high pollen through the weekend. Now, before we get rolling here on this report, if you are to live anywhere here across North Georgia and you're new here to our YouTube channel, let me introduce myself. I'm meteorologist Greg Majestic on a mission to build a professional 24-hour weather channel, and I need everybody's help in this effort. So all you got to do, doesn't cost you anything, is just please subscribe to the channel, and more importantly, make sure you hit that notification bell so you're alerted on all future weather updates. All right, let's go ahead and take a live look here at Truist Park. Yeah, we got our game opener for the Braves today against the Kansas City Royals. First pitch at 7:15. Should be seeing a temperature right around 80 degrees for the first pitch, but it looks like they're going to have great weather here for tonight, although the wind may be up a little bit as they start that game for tonight. Looking here in Braselton, Georgia, we're at 80 degrees. We got plenty of sunshine here as well for this afternoon, and we're going to be noticing some cooler temperatures here as well for tomorrow. And looking at Lake Chattooga, also looking pretty nice. Got some sunshine. A few clouds. Look at some people taking advantage of the warm weather and doing a little bit of getting into the lake a little bit there along the beaches, enjoying all that sunshine. Don't know if it'll be quite beach weather for the weekend with the colder temperatures expected up that way, as I suspect Lake Chattooga probably won't get out of the lower 60s for highs going into this weekend. Now let's go take a look at our current radar. We're clear here for the moment. Now I could say we could potentially see some isolated rain chances moving in here for tonight. Not going to mount to much anything in here, but I will say that if you live anywhere up here across North Georgia, you might see a stray little shower or two up in this area. Again, not expecting a whole lot out of this as that front moves on through the area. Now we are going to see some clouds start to move in. Notice these gravity waves coming here out ahead of this cold front. It kind of looks like little waves in a pond that's kind of moving on through. And as the front moves on through, it's going to be a bit breezy. It's already a little windy out there already, but this is going to be moving on in, and you see kind of these like waves in here, kind of indication of that front moving on into the area. And that'll be sweeping in for tonight and setting up for a colder weekend across the area. There's the front up there toward the north. And you notice behind that front, we're in the 50s out here, but we're in the 70s. Look at 79 degrees over in Marietta already, and 82 degrees over there toward Commerce. So it is a warm out ahead of that front. It will be roughly about 15, 20 degrees colder across North Georgia for tomorrow than what we're seeing out there on your Friday. So let's look at your forecast models here. I've got this in reflectivity mode, kind of showing you what a radar representation will be. And you notice there's a little green there, but really not a whole lot. So you see a little bit of activity here going in for tonight. Again, I'm not expecting any problems for the Braves tonight. Again, there may be a sprinkle or two moving here across North Georgia, but that's it. It's going to move on through. We're looking at some pretty good weather here for Saturday and for Sunday. A bit on the cool side, but then we're going to warm up very nicely going into next week. Now, going into your Saturday morning, the winds are going to be up, so I'm not worried about frost here overnight for these areas, but you notice temperatures up here sitting in the mid-30s, be in the 40s around metro Atlanta here for your Saturday morning, and a little bit of bite to the air because of the winds, and because we've been so warm, it's going to feel really cold to you, that's for sure. And then as we go into the afternoon, your afternoon highs here, mostly in the 60s here, again, maybe a few 50s up at the higher elevations, but generally looking at 60s. A seasonable day, that's what I would call that. And then we'll see another kind of coolish start there on your Sunday before we see things begin to warm back up. We'll see some 30s again up there, especially northeast Georgia, and then we'll see things warm up as we go into the new work week. All right, so let's look at our forecast maps. This is from our friends from the National Weather Service. Watch as I kind of go through the days of the week. Watch a little timestamp there on top as we go into tomorrow. That front is going to quickly move on through. And got high pressure in control. Not bad for both Saturday and Sunday. Again, it will be cooler, but still comfortable. It's not going to be that bad. You might need a jacket in the morning, and that's going to be about it. And then as we go into next week, we'll warm things back up, but you're also going to notice some green starting to come back on this map. Look what happens as we go into Tuesday and going into Wednesday. There we go. Got a little green on the map. Low rain chances, but they're there. Going into Thursday and Friday, we're kind of upping it up to maybe 40%. So we'll get some rain chances back in here, and hopefully we'll see rain continuing potentially through the weekend going into Easter with some decent rains. We definitely need it, and so no complaints in that department as the drought conditions and the high pollen count we need some rain. So hopefully it'll help us out. But here we go for tomorrow, Saturday, 67, 47 there in Gainesville. Cooler and breezy. You'll notice here parts of North Georgia like Blue Ridge and Blairsville and LJ also looking at 30s out there for tomorrow morning. Again, maybe just passing isolated shower. It's going to be windy tonight. Northwest winds at 15 to 25, and we're going to stay kind of on the breezy side for tomorrow as well. Everybody generally in the 60s for highs for tomorrow afternoon, so fairly seasonable with some lingering winds. Regionally, the whole southeast is cooling off. Nashville at 61, Asheville at 58, Jackson at 69, 73 in Columbus, and 67 over in Savannah. And the next 7 days, here we go, as we stay in the 60s for the weekend, but back in the 70s by the time we get to Monday, 83 on Tuesday, and then we'll go up to 84 on Wednesday with above normal temperatures. And then we got the rain chance coming back at us for Thursday and Friday. Again, not a washout, but at least some rain opportunities there. Something we've not seen a lot. It's been very dry the second half of the month of March. We had a couple inches. We were tracking decently for the first half, but really dried out for the second half of the month. So hopefully we'll get some rain back in here. The pattern is evolving and is changing in April, so I do suspect we'll get better opportunities for rain as we go into April, especially after Easter. All right, that's y'all's update for today. Again, appreciate you guys checking us out here on the YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button and become part of this family, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're alerted on all future weather updates, as well as whenever we do live severe weather coverage. Obviously, April is still a severe weather month, and you may want to get alerted on that. All right, that's y'all's update for today. Y'all take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. We'll see you on Monday. We'll see you on Monday with your next update. You guys take it easy and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.